didn't have to knock me out, but I'm still holding the throne. You never know till it's over. So pretty it hurts. Just beware of the thorns.
Hello everybody. To answer a few Quora questions here on YouTube. I think I've answered one of them before, but this is just kind of worded a little bit different. But before I do, if you like prison content, hit that subscribe and like and share, comment. I'd like you guys' feedback. This first question is, I know this was directed directly to me instead of anybody in general, because it says 30 years and I did 29. And sometimes they do that. They'll direct them directly at you. What's it like to do 30 years and see all the technology and everything you missed out on? It's like when I answered it on Quora, I went to prison before there was the internet. So everybody that was born before the internet gradually seen changes over time in different technology, not just the internet and all this and that. I went from there's no internet, and 30 years later I get out and there's all these changes. It was like dramatic. But you know, some of it was easy to pick up on. You know, some of it was just strange. You know, there's a lot of things I don't know about technology yet, but I think cars have too many sensors on them nowadays. They got them everywhere. I don't think they hardly had, maybe one or two, and that was only on the new ones when I went to prison. A lot of things have made our lives better, but I also think in a lot of ways it's made it, I think it's made us kind of lazier, you know. I mean, things that used to be done by hand is now done by machines or computers or whatever. And some of it's cost people's job. You know, you may have to take 3 or 4 people now. It's one person, and that person's not really doing a whole lot. You know, the machine's doing most of it. But it's made our lives better in a lot of ways. You know, things are done faster and maybe cheaper. They may not be as good as quality as it was before. I believe that with a lot of things. You know, some of the older stuff were better. It's like I was telling some people, you know, I said, it's nice that you have a phone that you can carry with you everywhere you go. You know, you don't have to worry about a pay phone. You don't have to be in somebody's house or your house to make a phone call. You can make a phone call anywhere. But at the same time, with landlines and pay phones, you really didn't have to worry about having service. I mean, you made the call, you know. You didn't have to walk around trying to pick up a signal or anything. Computers have gotten smaller. TVs too. By smaller, I mean thinner. I don't mean exactly smaller, because they've actually gotten wider and bigger, you know, cover whole walls. But they're thinner, so they're able to do that, you know. And that's a lot better, I think, than having your top of your desk filled with these big computers and big TVs or whatever, you know. And some of those things were heavy. That's another thing, you know. Computers and stuff are lighter now. The TVs are lighter. I mean, Like if you have a great big one, really the only thing you have to worry about when you're carrying it is the bulk. It usually may take a couple people to do it. There's one of the first things I noticed is there was nobody changing the fuel prices at gas stations. You know, they used to have this long pole, and they'd change the prices with this long pole. And now that it's done electronically, and I know they're glad about that. You know, there's just different things. You know, and a lot of people, I think, if they've never been to prison for a long time, they don't really notice the changes over time. But somebody's been in prison and they come back out, they see all these changes. And like I said, some of it I think's bad, and some of it's good. You know, I think it's made us lazier. The one thing that I can't, I know I've mentioned this before. It's like social media, you know, and Messenger and things like that. It's made us a little lazier. You know, I still like will go to my neighbor, you know, talk to him, go knock on his door and talk to him. And I usually know what time he's up, you know, I know how late he sleeps. But there's some of the younger people who said, why do you do that? You know, why don't you just message them? Well, that's just wasn't the way I was raised, you know. And or I'll call. Sometimes I'll call somebody, especially if they're a ways off. You know, I'll call before I go see them, whatever. But it seems like people just love to message people, and they don't like to be on the phone or anything. Before I went to prison, it was more direct contact. You know, of course, I was from a small area, um, and so everybody, like, if you went over to somebody's house and they's there, like if they's outside doing something, you didn't you just immediately started helping them. You know, like maybe somebody's stacking wood or something, you immediately started helping them. Uh, Nowadays, I think that's a little less. Somebody may say, "Hey, you want me to help you with that?" And I get the feeling sometimes they're hoping they'll say, "No, I got it," you know. But anyway, that's since I covered that before, I ain't gonna really cover a whole lot of it. And says, how do prisoners get tattoos in jail? When I first got to the walls, we used now just put it out there. I never did any tattoo work. I wouldn't even try to do tattoo work on anybody, but I've been around tattoo artists and stuff in prison. There's the old-fashioned way. First of all, you know, it's just the pick thing. You know, you got a needle with a string around it and you pick. But at the walls, they used to get some guitar string because, you know, they had a music room and stuff. They just about all prisons do, or at least where you can check out guitar. And some of them don't. I don't think South Central Correctional Center did. I'm not sure. But you get some guitar string, and you get a motor from like a Walkman. These old Walkmans, and I had a Walkman all the way up until a few months before I left, and I sold it to this guy. But it's crazy, huh? Cassette Walkman, 29 years. Panasonic, as a matter of fact, who made it. But you take the motor out of that, and you make your gun. You know, people use like ballpoint pens or something, you know, to make them out of it. And the ink is made out of suet, you know. Unless sometimes they can get real ink in. I mean, you can pretty much get anything in. but most of it was made. And I'm sure the guy who bought my Walkman wanted it for the motor. Uh, but that was, oh, and then later on, uh, when they didn't really have a whole lot of Walkmans, people would make them out of beard, get the motors out of beard trimmers or things like that. All right, one more question. This person says I'm 19 years old. I'm skinny. I'm frail. And if I was to go to prison, what could I expect? That really depends on how you act. You know, looking at the way you're describing yourself, there's going to be people approach you probably. Um, and even if they're not coming in one way or another, they'll just want to test you and see what you're made of. And it all depends on how you carry yourself. You know, if they see somebody that they think's scared, and I'm going to be honest, I was scared when I got to the walls, but I was more scared of the consequences of not fighting. But if you act scared, and and somebody comes up and bumps you, and they'll probably do this on purpose, or they'll say something to you, intimidating, just to see how you react. And you got to pass this test, do what you got to do. But some people will. You got different types of people coming to prison. You got some young guys coming in there all gung ho and think they're going to do this and that. You run around like you're tough. Somebody's going to try you. I mean, they're going to see if you really are tough. If you come in there, but you walk with confidence, and move with confidence and act like you know what you're doing, then you're going to have less problems. People are going to kind of second guess trying you, but more likely than not, you're going to be. They're going to see what you're made of. And they're going to approach you and look. Prisoners, they can tell. They can tell what you made. They can tell if you come in there with a fake tough persona or whatever. This is what they do. They watch people all day long. They analyze people. They size them up. They're going to know what you're about. They may even know what your charges are before you get there. That's the way it used to be at the walls. I was just talking to Jay about this the other day, and in the comments, and it amazed me that when I got to the walls, that there was a lot of people who already knew what I was in prison for. I was thinking, wow, how do they know this? But and even if they don't, they can find out. But some people come to prison and they already got their homies in prison, so it's not a big deal. But if you're nobody in prison, and you're 19 years old, you're skinny and frail, and you go in there scared, which you probably will. I mean, just be ready. That's all I got to say. Just oh, there's another part of that. Huh. Yeah, I pretty much just answered the second part of this. He says, would it help if I went in there? Um, he says, psychopath. He goes, would it help if I went in there and acted like I was crazy or insane. You know, I don't know. I don't think that would help. You know, just people in prison don't care. You, you might get some laughs out of some people if they think you're pretty much faking, and they probably will. Probably will know that you're just putting on an act. But I don't think that would work either. You know, doing the I'm crazy thing. Um, just I kind of wonder if he thinks he is going to prison, you know, or if he's just asking the question if this is what would happen if I went to prison. But I'd be kind of curious. I think he's going to have problems, but because he's trying to figure out ways to um, fool the people in prison already, you know, and thinking that he's somebody he's not. It's not going to work. Um, but I hope he's not going to prison. I hope none of you go to prison. But and I hope the ones who have been in prison got out. Salute to you and stay out. You know, enjoy your freedom. You know what it is, Jay. You know what you told me. Your worst day in the free world is better than your best day in prison, and that's so true. And so, those who have been and gotten out, enjoy your freedom. Enjoy your time with your family, your loved ones, your friends, whoever. Just enjoy your freedom. Don't take anything for granted. That's what I'm telling people who don't go, who's never been to prison, and run around making a mess of themselves. Your freedom can be gone in an instant. And prison is more than just being locked up and having your freedom taken away. It's so much more. I mean, it's weighs on your mind. You have people telling you what to do and when to do it. Seeing the same people day after day, seeing your family grow older as they come and see you, if they come and see you. Some of them may not come and see you. It may be too far away or whatever. Maybe they just don't want to see you. Friends and family getting married and you're not getting to go to it. Funerals, holidays, all this you'll miss out on. So I tell you again, man, think about your decisions and the choices you make. Now, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.